Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about boss lady fragrances. They're not just for your average status quo woman. These are for the CEOs, the head honchos, the big time bosses. That's the kind of fragrances we're talking about. These are powerful, they're assertive, they're womanly. These fragrances are fragrances that make you feel like you're in charge. And I can't wait to share them with you. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community. And let's get into this. So I have 6 different types of bosses that I want to share with you with some descriptions for each one. So the first big bad boss lady fragrance that I want to talk about is Sable Gris by Experimental Perfume Club. It is so incredibly sophisticated and elegant. It has some woodiness in here. There's some amber. There's things like oak moss, ginger, turmeric, cardamom, cinnamon. So there's a bit of spiciness to this. This also has tobacco. This is definitely unisex. This is such a sexy fragrance. Like, it's absolutely delicious. It's elegant. It's understated. It's very sophisticated. And the type of boss that I imagine wearing Sable Gris is a high-powered finance lawyer. So the lawyer that I think of is one of the lawyers from Suits. So one of those women, but not just even the average lawyer in the Suits show. It would be the head lawyer, the lawyer that ran the show. She's wearing this. She smells super powerful. She smells slightly alluring, like you're drawn into her story. And when she walks into the courtroom, whoever she's defending is celebrating, and those that are trying to, I don't even know lawyer talk, but anyway, the person that's against her, they're groaning, and the judges see her as a work of art. Like, they enjoy watching her decimate her and her opponent. They know that she's going to win no matter what, but it's such a pleasure to watch her just wield her magic. She's so fantastic, eloquent, sophisticated, smooth. This woman has it all. She has no shortage of suitors, but this woman is extremely discerning, and she will not tolerate mediocrity. Seriously, this is such a fantastic fragrance. It smells like money. Like, it smells like money. It's sophistication in a bottle. Like, love. Like, this is seriously stellar. So the next boss lady fragrance that I have for you is L'Interdit by Givenchy. Now, this fragrance is a beautiful, completely different fragrance from that one. So this is very syrupy. It's quite intoxicating. It's quite floral. It's got some pear in there. There's tuberose, definitely a bubblegum tuberose fragrance all the way. It smells almost as if there's a little bit of spice in there. And what I think it is a mixture of the patchouli and the vetiver. When I smell patchouli and vetiver mixed with florals like this, to me, it feels like just kind of like spiciness that's in with those leaves that's kind of been muddled together. So I absolutely love this fragrance, but although it's like quite sensual, sexy, alluring, it's still very sophisticated and classy. Now, the woman that wears this is known as a fixer. She has connections every which way you can imagine. She spends most of her time in France. She actually grew up down south. She's very demure. She's got a bit of a southern drawl. And she has gone through the ranks. She came from nothing, but she's gone through the ranks and she's done everything that she needed to better herself. She's a bit of a chameleon. She can fit in pretty much anywhere, but she has worked very, very hard to get just the right information on every power person you could ever imagine. So when fixing needs to be done, they call in the best, and that is this woman. She smells so unassuming. It's so just classy and feminine. You would never assume that underneath that demure, slightly southern drawl is a ruthless businesswoman. She always wears flowy dresses too. And yeah, people are totally blown away because she walks into a place and you think this is the fixer because she's just so unassuming and soft spoken. And she wears this, but boy, that woman is powerful. Okay, just so you know, I know these are kind of cheeseball, but it's always fun. I always like doing these, so I hope you guys don't mind. Now, the next boss lady fragrance is Mandorle by Soradora. This is another fragrance that gets me compliments. So when I wear this one, people usually take notice. It smells like there's cherry or almond in here, but there isn't. So I don't know if it's the mixture of tonka with the heliotrope or what the deal is, but to me it smells like almond or cherry. This one is really, really sophisticated, slightly mysterious, quite alluring. It has leather in it, which is bizarre, and I definitely noticed the leather. But it doesn't feel like overpowering. So the leather is definitely in the mix, but so is caramel and so is rum. But what I mainly get is this feeling of kind of a slight cherry almond feel. So it's a really interesting fragrance. It's smooth, it's kind of soft, but at the same time, it's quite strong. And so the boss lady that wears Mandorle is a mob boss. I'm not talking a mob wife. I don't know what the fascination, I don't have cable. So I keep on seeing on TikTok all this mob wife talk. So there's got to be some show on TV right now that has a mob wife. Forgive my ignorance, but this is not a mob wife. She's not the wife of a mobster. She is the mobster. So this woman, she also came from nothing. As it turned out, she was just in the wrong place at the right time and ended up being taken by this overlord. She was a major survivor, so she just kind of stayed under the radar, kept to herself. At first, she didn't want to be there at all because she had been taken. So she, like, for months and months, like, she was screaming, trying to escape, but she could never get out of there. The mob boss kind of treated her almost like a father. So he taught her everything that he knew about the business. He finally confessed to her. He wasn't her father, but he was an uncle. And he needed someone to take over the business because he was dying. And so she thought about it, and it's like, well, I basically came from nothing. My parents have had nothing to do with me. Like, she was basically like an orphan and kind of looked after herself, kind of went from home to home. And so this man had taken her in, and she's like, well, this is in my blood. And so she literally dove in and she took over that business. She was as ruthless as her uncle. But boy, did she have great taste in fragrances, and she always smelled like Mandorle. So yeah, smooth, sophisticated, really quite rich, complex. This woman had many layers to her, and just when you think you've figured her out, she would switch just slightly. So she was so elusive, she could never be caught by the police because she was so elusive and could just like flip on a dime. So no one could get their hands on her. She was known as the ghost because nobody even knew what she looked like. Again, because she had come from nowhere and had been kept protected for so long. So when the main boss died, she took over and she ruled. But she smelled so, so, so good. It's always unnerving when someone is ruthless, but they smell so, so good. So anyway, Mandorle, mob boss. If you want to smell like a mob boss, put on Mandorle. It doesn't actually smell like a mob boss. It just smells like a boss lady. It smells really good. Okay, I mention this one every time, but seriously, somehow it smells like a boss lady fragrance to me, and it is Prada La Femme. L'Interdit is definitely a floral. It's the tuberose. It's the bubblegum tuberose. This is more floral than L'Interdit. La Femme is quite an interesting fragrance because there's a solar quality to this. So although there's tuberose in here, there's magnolia in the opening, there's frangipani in ylang ylang, and I definitely get lots of that frangipani and ylang ylang. So it gives it that solar quality. There's a hint, like some sort of kick of spices in this. That really elevates this and makes it way more interesting. There's some iris in here. There's carrot seeds, which you get. Apparently carrot seeds are supposed to smell like a little bit of cooked carrot. I don't smell cooked carrot, but you know how cooked carrot is warm and sweet? You get a little bit of that warm and sweet in here. And there's also beeswax, vanilla, and vetiver in the base. Definitely there's vanilla, but to me, the color of the bottle, so the white and the gold, is the feel of the fragrance. So there's a solar quality definitely in this, but at the same time, very classy and sophisticated. So I actually brought this fragrance with me to Kelowna during the summer. It was super duper hot, and this performed fantastic. So this is a fragrance that you could wear to the office that smells really elegant and sophisticated, but it also smells amazing on vacation. So this is a great, great fragrance. So to me, this boss lady, I've said it before, it reminds me of Miranda Priestley. She dresses in like white, very fine wool suits. She carries a Birkin bag. She's driven everywhere she goes. She has a person to help her do absolutely everything. You know, she calls on this person. She has assistants. She has chefs. She has cleaners. She just basically organizes the minions and they do her work. And basically people quake in fear. And then every once in a while she'll go, "That's all." And again, people just run. Like, it's like, yes, yes, ma'am. But this fragrance she also wears when she goes to the Maldives again. Men feed her grapes. She walks out onto her terrace with this white, flowy, gauzy thing and some sort of bathing suit situation and high heels, and her hair's all done up. She looks good, and her hair, although it's wet, it's perfectly coiffed. Maybe she has some sort of weird turban on. It's hard to say. But in any case, she knows she's got it going on. And she kind of talks like this. And she smells like Prada La Femme. Like, seriously, it's super classy, sophisticated, feminine. Yeah, I really enjoy this fragrance. I've never gotten sick of it. Although I don't wear it as often as I do anymore, just because I have so many other fragrances to use. But really, really love this one. Next boss lady fragrance. I don't know if it should be in this collection. And not only that, I've talked about it before, but seriously, she is known as the Fox. And the reason why is because she is sly. Nobody can get her hands on her. Nobody knows what she looks like. Just like the mob boss, nobody knows what this chick looks like because she's so good at disguises. But man, everybody is scared of her. She's an international spy, and she wears cherry punk. Seriously, guys, this is a boss lady fragrance if ever there was one. Although I would never suggest wearing this to an office. Oh my goodness, this is a powerful. It's cherry, it's sexy, there's leather in here. It's boozy feeling to me. It's long lasting, and if you want a power fragrance, cherry punk is going to be a go-to for you. So love this fragrance. But yeah, I've said it before, this woman, she has to go in to deal, and she always works alone. She doesn't work with a partner because partners actually just die. Like, she goes into such dangerous situations that her partners usually can't make it. So they just finally quit. She's a specialist. She goes in, she goes out, she deals with it and takes care of whatever she needs to take care of. I've talked about her before because she does business at a roadhouse, cleans the house. The bikers, they learn their lesson. But no matter where she goes, the only thing that people know about the Fox is that she leaves this intoxicating trail of cherries and leather everywhere she goes. And it's because of cherry punk. She is a boss. Now, the last fragrance is one that I hear about it every once in a while. It's not a very known company, I don't think, but this is Boss Lady all the way, and it is Kryptonite by Khalil T. Paris. So this is a fragrance that actually has almonds, and I would not have thought of almonds just smelling it. So whereas Mandorli has no almonds, but I smell almonds. In this one, I don't get any almond really. I get a sweetness, like kind of a warm sweetness that's very smooth, that likely comes from the almond and the tonka. Tonka is the top note, which is rare. Usually tonka is one of the bottom notes. And then this has aldehydes in it as well. Now, aldehydes I've heard described kind of add some sparkle and maybe some fizz to a fragrance. It doesn't do that in this one. So I don't get any sparkling quality really. But what I get is just kind of like this airy, kind of powdery feel that comes. Now, the powder definitely is attributed to the iris. So this is for sure iris, and it's smooth. There is a powdery aspect, but it somehow smells so elevated and sophisticated. This one sometimes gives me a little bit of a headache feel, at least if I'm sniffing it on the bottle. If I put it on, I don't get that. This is uber long lasting. There's a really beautiful, like again, smooth, like a silky smooth, the finest powder. Like if you're getting a face powder, you want it to be uber fine. So it feels almost silky. That's what this feels like. So although there's powder, it feels so fine that it feels silky. This is, to me, the epitome of an elegant, sophisticated fragrance. It's just so beautiful. So it's got the iris, there's a little bit of jasmine. In the base, you have some sandalwood and then that almond. So yeah, very smooth, very soft somehow, but strong. Like this thing will last forever on your skin, like a good 10, 12 hours. You can smell this on your skin. When I sprayed it in the air, I sprayed this for my dad and my sister. And as soon as I sprayed it on the air, my sister Coralie just went, "Oh, that smells so beautiful." So it's very, very luxe smelling. But to me, like this is considered unisex. I think it smells really feminine because of that iris, because of that powder. But this woman, this boss lady, she built from the ground up this multi-billion-dollar conglomeration of corporations. I don't even know if that's a thing, but a conglomeration of corporations, all in the finance industry. And just like the color of this is the color of money, her life is money. Like there's no shortage. She owns a private jet. Now, the interesting thing about this one is, again, she stays behind the scenes. She's always there, but you don't necessarily see her. Lots of the people that work for her, even the high ups, don't know who she is. Why are all these mystery women? Like, why am I making them all hidden? I don't know. It's just the stories I got in my head today, okay? Anyway, this woman, she smells so in control. She's soft. She never loses her temper, but she is completely in control. And with a snap of her finger, she can decimate a company and then build it back up, essentially in her image. And she smells like kryptonite, and she smells super sophisticated, classy, but a little bit ruthless. Deep down, a little bit ruthless. Just a little bit of fun today. These are my boss lady fragrances. What about you? What do you consider super like powerful, sophisticated, classy, elegant boss lady? If you want to feel like a boss lady, these are the fragrances you put on. If you want to feel powerful, if you want to feel in control, if you want to feel like money, you want to feel rich, you want to feel powerful, if you want to smell like that super in control, powerful woman, Any of these fragrances would be great. What about you? What are your boss lady fragrances? Leave it in the comments. I would love to know. And other than that, have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.
What is the freaking show called? And she will not tolerate. What won't she tolerate? What won't she tolerate?